Oh, hello. All right, y'all. Good morning. Good morning, y'all. Happy Saturday. Did everyone have a good strength workout today? You're at? Awesome. All right, y'all. We're going to get started with a little recovery stretch. All right, Michelle, look at you over there. I am Jessica. I'm part of Peachy Cheeks Fitness with Morgan right over there and our other third Bree who is working today. But we're going to do like a full 30 to 45-minute recovery stretch. It should feel good, nothing hard. You have the bands because we're going to be using them to kind of stretch our hamstrings, and rather than trying to grab onto our feet and trying to force anything, using the bands to help pull us closer. All right, y'all, let's get started. We'll get started in child's pose at the back of your mat. So if you don't know what that is, you're going to spread your knees wide on your mat. Bring your big toes to touch, and then send your hips towards your heels, and then just start to straighten your arms towards the front of your space. Right here, just start to settle into your breath. So take one deep inhale in through your nose, and then open mouth, release that breath out. Two more deep breaths like this. So take one deep inhale in through your nose. And then open mouth, release that breath out. Now this time, take a deep inhale in through your nose, and then visualize your breath coming up through your fingertips. Feel that breath go up your forearm, your bicep, your tricep, your shoulder blades. And with every exhale, sink your hips closer towards your heels. Start to think about your intention for this Saturday morning. Why did you show up this morning? What will you focus your time, your energy, your strength on? And what do you need to release a little bit this Saturday morning? Now slowly start to walk your hands over to the right side of your mat and place your left palm on top of your right. Now sink your left ear into your mat as you gaze underneath your right tricep. Start to breathe through your entire left side body. So with every inhale, breathe through your left fingertips and feel that breath go up your left forearm, your bicep, your tricep. And with every exhale, allow that breath to release out your left side body. 3 more deep breaths like that. One more deep inhale in, and then one more exhale out. And slowly start to walk your hands over to the opposite side of your mat. This time place your right palm on top of your left. Now sink your right ear into your mat and gaze underneath your left tricep. Start to breathe through your entire right side body. So with every inhale, breathe through your right fingertips. Feel that breath go up your right forearm, your bicep, your tricep. With every exhale, release that breath out your right side body. Sinking your glute closer towards your heel. 2 more just like that. And 1 more inhale in. 1 more exhale out. Now slowly start to walk your hands towards the center of your mat. And then come up to a tabletop pose. So stack your shoulders right over your wrists, your hips right over your knees. Now inhale, cow pose. Drop your belly down to your mat. Send the crown of your head towards the ceiling. And then focus on rotating your shoulders back, your biceps forward. And then exhale, cat pose. So curl your spine, protract your shoulder blades. Yes, press the earth away from you. Inhale, back to cow pose. So drop your belly down. Create expansion through your chest. And feel your QL start to release some tension. And then exhale, cat pose. Curl your spine as you feel your serratus anterior lengthen out. 1 more inhale, cat. And then exhale, cat pose, curl your spine. Look in towards your navel. Now inhale as you come back to a tabletop pose, and then start to shift your weight over to your left hand. Extend your right arm all the way up towards the ceiling. And then slowly start to circle out your wrists, your entire right arm. And then thread your right arm underneath your left, anchoring your right shoulder, your right ear, and gazing over at your right hand. Now to get a little bit more into your right shoulder, I want you to send the palm of your right hand down towards the ground, really feeling that lengthen through your delt. Option to walk your left hand out in front of you. Option to take your left hand behind your back and hook it against your right thigh to open up through your thoracic spine. Wherever you are, just be intentional right here. So take 3 deep breaths. 2 more deep breaths. And then 1 more inhale in. 1 more exhale out. Now, if you took that bind, slowly release it out in front of you. So plant your left hand back onto your mat. And then slowly lift your right arm back up towards the ceiling. And then place your right hand back down into that tabletop pose. Now right here, we're gonna take dancing lines, so big giant hip circles towards the right. So coming all the way forward, all the way back. Now releasing all those little nicks and cracks from your week, maybe your morning. Maybe all that tension that you just held on to during that strength workout. And just take inventory right here, how your body feels. What do you need to let go? 2 more deep breaths. Then 1 more inhale in. And then exhale, come back to that tabletop pose. Now this time, shift your weight over to your right hand, extend your left arm all the way up towards the sky. Start to circle out your wrist, your entire left arm. And then thread your left arm underneath your right. So anchor your left shoulder and your left ear, and to get more into that left delt, you can flip your palm, so you're pressing your palm into the ground. Now again, option to walk your right hand out in front of you, or option to take your right hand behind your back and hook it against your left thigh, opening up through your torso. So with every inhale, lengthen your spine, and with every exhale, release all new oxygen to your digestive system. 2 more deep breaths. 1 more inhale. And then exhale, slowly release that right hand back down if you took that bind. And then sweep your left arm back up towards the sky. And then place it back down into that tabletop pose. Now, staying in tabletop, you're gonna flip your palms over so your knuckles are on the ground and your fingers are faced in towards one another. You'll take that dancing line, this time to the left. So including those forearms and wrists, those two seem to be neglected a lot. So focus on really lengthening through those wrists. 2 deep breaths right here. And 1 more inhale in. And then exhale as you come back to that tabletop pose. You're gonna flip your hands back over, and this time lift your right knee out to the side like a fire hydrant pose. Now extend your leg out and press your entire right sole of your foot into the ground. Now slowly you're gonna walk your finger pads out to the front of your space, and then bring your chin or your forehead all the way down to the ground. Now make sure your elbows are popped off your mat, so just your finger pads are there, feeling this expansion through your serratus anterior, your shoulder blades, your collarbone, as well as your groin, the right side of your psoas as well. So with every inhale, breathe in where you feel some tension in your body. And with every exhale, imagine that tension releasing out the back of your spine. 3 more deep breaths just like that. 2 more deep breaths. One more inhale in. And then one more exhale out. Now slowly walk your hands back up towards the center of your mat. And then bring your leg back to that tabletop pose. We're gonna do the same thing over to the left. So lift your left knee out to the side, fire hydrant pose. Extend your leg out and then press the entire left sole of your foot into the ground. Now slowly walk your finger pads out towards the front of your space. And then bring your chin or your forehead all the way to the ground. So notice any tension through your collarbone, your shoulder blades, as well as the left side of your groin. 3 deep breaths right here. 2 more deep breaths. 1 more inhale in. Then 1 more exhale out. Now slowly start to walk your hands back towards the center of your space. And then bring your knee back to tabletop pose. Now we'll do 1 round of cow cat. So drop your shoulders, gaze up and out. And then exhale as you protract your shoulders. Come back to that tabletop pose and then slowly start to walk your hands out all the way so your belly is on your mat. We're gonna lengthen out through our pecs and our delts now. So you're gonna cactus your right arm out to the side. Take your face all the way down to your mat. Now cactus your right arm, so goal post it and then take your right ear all the way to your mat. Yeah, now take your left foot and place it over your right. Yeah, and you'll feel this all through your right pec, your delt, as well as a little bit of your trap. Yeah, make sure your head's all the way down. And with every inhale, press through your left finger pads. And with every exhale, try to send a little bit more pressure to your right armpit. 3 deep breaths right here. 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale in. And then exhale, start to roll back onto your belly. We'll cactus our opposite arm this time. Take your left ear all the way down to your mat. And then take your right foot over your left, getting into your left pec, as well as your delt, your trap, your serratus anterior. Now tent your right finger pads. So with every inhale, press a little bit firmly through your right finger pads. And with every exhale, sink your left armpit a little bit closer towards your mat. A lot of the times we don't create that space to just allow our muscles to release, allow that connective tissue to release and elongate. So give yourself some gratitude for just showing up, creating this space in your weekend. 1 more inhale. And then exhale, start to roll back onto your belly. Now, keeping your legs on the ground, I want you to squeeze your thighs in towards one another and then press the tops of your feet into the ground. And now slowly start to rise your chest up. You can either come to your forearms right here. Maybe start right here. We'll be here for a few minutes, just working into our QL, our low back. And now with intention, I want you to try to drive your elbows closer towards your chest. So you're pulling your mat in towards your belly button. Yeah, you'll feel your chest expand, your QL start to light up. Now, if this isn't enough tension, you can start to rise up to your palms. And you can move your palms closer to get more into that low back. With every inhale, breathe through your belly button. And with every exhale, release that breath out your mouth. 3 more deep breaths like this. 2 more breaths. Then 1 more inhale in. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Bring your big toes to touch, send your knees out. We're gonna just go into child's pose 1 more time, just as a little rebound for that intense low back stretch. Now right here, just start to rock your forehead side to side, massage out your third eye center. Now right here, we're gonna stretch the back of our neck. So staying in child's pose, you're gonna just start to lift your knees, lift your hips off your feet, and then just start to roll on the crown of your head. And then come all the way back to child's pose. So doing that a few times with every inhale, rolling to the crown of your head, getting in to the back of your neck. And with every exhale, sinking back into that child's pose 2 more times. One more inhale in. And then one more exhale out. Now inhale as you come up to a tabletop pose. And then tuck your toes and come into a downward facing dog, sending your hips up and back. Beautiful, y'all. Now start to pay attention to your forearms. I want you to externally rotate your arms to the outer edges of your mat. So staying where you are, almost like you're opening a pickle jar. Start to externally rotate your arms, getting into your serratus anterior and your rhomboids. Yeah, now walk your feet in just a tiny bit so that your heels can sink close to your mat. Beautiful. Now tilt your tailbone high towards the ceiling. And then internally rotate your legs towards one another. So rotating your legs in, feeling that abduction of your legs, stretching your hamstrings, your calves. And then with every inhale, you're pressing through your palms, tilting your tailbone high towards the sky. And with every exhale, internally rotating your legs, sinking your heels closer towards your mat. Yeah, this stretches a whole lot when you really put intention to every little section of your body. Take one more deep inhale in, and exhale it out. Now slowly start to rise your right leg all the way up towards the ceiling for 3-legged dog. And then sink your left heel. I want you to bend your knee, stack your hip. Just take giant circles with your right knee. So going in one direction and the other. Opening up your hip flexors, your psoas, as well as your groin, your glutes. Maybe roll out that ankle, get all those nicks and cracks out. And then take one deep inhale. And then exhale as you slowly start to plant your right foot on the outside of your hand. So coming into a lunge just like this. So both your hands are on the inside. Now slowly start to plant your left hand into the ground and extend your right arm all the way towards the sky for a little thoracic spine stretch. Now while you're in this, I want you to dial your right hip back, your left hip forward. Yeah, feel that adduction. And then press your back kneecap up towards the ceiling and press your back heel over your toenail. Now with every inhale, lengthen through your spine, staying here. And with every exhale, opening up through your torso. 2 more deep breaths. This is really good, especially if you sit a lot during the day. 1 more inhale in. And then stay on your exhale out. We're actually going to get into those IT bands right now. So all you're going to do, staying here, you're going to just pivot your toes towards the right side of your mat. So you need to look at me. You're going from forward to side. So they're both pointed towards the side of your mat. Your big toes are up towards the sky. Your pinky toes are grounded into the mat. And then extend your arm over your head. You'll feel that up your IT band. And if it's a little painful, that means you need it a little bit. So with every inhale, lengthen, and then you're slowly just gonna drop your hips down towards the mat. Yeah. It's probably tight if you have not worked those IT bands. 1 more time, inhale. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Now start to pivot back towards the front of your space. This time, drop your back knee and then tuck your back toe. Yeah, so we're all the way towards the front. Now you're gonna roll onto the pinky edge of your right foot and plant your left hand down. Start to send your right hand over to your right thigh. All while sending your hip flexors towards the front of your mat. And then with every inhale, drop your left shoulder forward. With every exhale, open up through your chest. Yeah. And so your right foot should be all the way on the right side of your mat. And so what you're working, you'll feel this in your TFL, that little muscle between your IT band and your glute, as well as your groin on the right, your hip flexor on the left. Yeah, if it's painful, it means you need it. 2 more deep breaths. 1 more inhaling. And then exhale, slowly bring your right foot all the way back down to your mat. Now we're gonna get into our quads. So you have a couple options here. If you have the flexibility, you can plant your left hand down and just start to grab your back foot with your right hand. You can take the band around your right foot and grab the band with your right hand, and that way bringing your foot closer to you. So I'll show you right here. So you can take that foot in that red band that you have and then just start pressing it towards you, feeling that quad on the left start to activate. Or always an option to plant your right hand down and just grab it with your left. Remember, modifications don't mean that you're worse at something. It just means your body just needs a little more lengthening. So with every inhale, start to send your hip flexors forward so your shoulders over your wrists. And with every exhale, pull your foot closer towards your glute. Sometimes it's just hard to stay in the discomfort, but I challenge you to just breathe through it, because the more you can breathe through uncomfortable things like this during this stretch, the more you can deal with the chaos that's going on outside of this room. 1 more deep inhaling. And then exhale, release that foot down. Now you're going to tuck your back toe and start to engage that back leg and slowly walk your hands in the center of your 2 feet. Yeah, so turn your toes in, your heels out. Whoa, sorry, y'all. Wake up. Now take a deep inhale in. And then exhale, just start to shift your weight forward on the balls of your feet. Let your head fall heavy. Maybe sway side to side, bending into one knee and the other. Just let your head fall all the way towards your mat. No ego amigos here. So you can shift your weight towards the balls of your feet. If you need to walk your feet really wide, that's okay too. Take 1 more deep inhale. And then 1 more exhale out. Now slowly start to walk back towards your front foot, back to where you were in that low lunge at the beginning. And then sweep your right leg back up and we'll meet in a downward facing dog. Right here, feel the difference between your right and left side. We'll do the same thing on the left. So take a deep inhale as you lift your left leg all the way up towards the sky. You're gonna bend your knees, stack your hip, and take big giant circles to the right and the left, just opening up that left side of your groin. And maybe roll your ankle, get all those mixing cracks out. And then sweep your left leg high, and then plant it on the left side of your left hand. Now we're gonna get into that thoracic spine twist. So plant your right hand firmly on the earth and then extend your left arm all the way up towards the sky. Now option to always drop to your back knee, but shift your hips forward. If you want to tuck your toe and engage your legs, I want you to still dial your left hip back, your right hip forward. And then activate through that back leg. With every inhale, lengthen through your spine. With every exhale, open your torso towards the sky. 2 more deep breaths. 1 more inhale in. And then exhale, slowly start to roll onto the pinky edge of your feet. So we're getting into that IT band stretch. Sometimes this transition can be funky, so remember you're just going from front and you're shifting both feet to the left side of your mat. Now your big toes are up in the air and you're solely on the pinky toes of both feet. Now mark a rainbow above your head, framing your ear with your bicep as you take a deep inhale in. And then exhale, slowly let your hips fall towards the ground. Yep, that's your IT bands. 2 more times, inhale, rise up. Exhale, slowly lower down. One more inhale, rise. Exhale, slowly lower down. And now inhale, rise up, pivot your feet back towards the center of your mat. This time, drop your back knee and then untuck your back toe. Now make sure to toe heel your left foot so it's on the outside of your mat. And then take your left hand to your left thigh. Yeah, and then just drop your right shoulder forward and gaze over your left shoulder. Yeah, feeling that through your TFL, as well as your groin on the left and your IT band on the right. So with every inhale, rotate your right shoulder forward. With every exhale, gaze over your left shoulder, straightening your left arm. 3 deep breaths right here. 2 more deep breaths. 1 more inhale in. And then exhale, slowly roll back on to the sole of your left foot. Now we're getting into that quad stretch. Remember your quads, they may feel different from side to side. So feel free to start with the band by taking the band and putting it on the top of your right foot. And then planting your right hand firmly and then just sending the band closer towards your glutes. Yeah, if you have the flexibility, you can even just let the band hang and then take the top of your foot. But try to send your hip flexors forward, so your shoulders over your wrists, and then trying to kick your own peach right here. 3 deep breaths. 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale in. And then 1 more exhale out. Slowly release that foot down. Now this time, still tuck your back toe and engage your back leg. You're gonna again walk your hands towards the center of your space. Take your hands to your hips and then slowly rise all the way up. Now this time we're gonna do the same thing, but interlace your hands behind your back and then seal your palms together. Take a deep inhale in, and then exhale, hinge from your hips, slowly fall forward towards the ground. Yeah, and then seal your palms like you're clapping your hands, and try to get your fists closer towards the ground as well, getting into those shoulder blades, as well as feeling that in your hip flexors. Now shift your weight into the balls of your feet so you feel your calves and hamstrings light up. Take 1 more deep inhale in. And then exhale, release your hands down to the ground. We're gonna slowly just turn your toes out, your heels in. Now, if you need to place something underneath your butt, you can do that, but we're gonna just sit into a little yogi squat or malasana, or just a little wide squat. We kind of did it at the beginning of class today, actually, in that strength training class. So your toes are out, your heels are in. Yeah, and now you're taking your arms and you're opening up through your legs. Take your hands to heart center, roll your shoulders down your back. And maybe just start to rock side to side. Yeah, it might feel a little bit tight. But remember, just sink into this stretch. So if you need to just stay still and just release anything you're holding on to, just release it. Take 1 more deep inhale in. And then exhale, slowly bring your legs out in front. And then lay your legs all the way out in front of you. Maybe start to shake them out. Beautiful, y'all. All right, now we're gonna take our bands. This is when we're gonna start using them, and you're gonna put them around the soles of your feet. Now, slowly, you're gonna start to lay all the way onto your back, holding onto your bands. Yeah, and then point your toes towards your nose. And just working on those hamstrings. Ooh. So make sure to dorsiflex your feet towards your nose. And if you need to bend your knees slightly, that's okay. And if they're shaking, that means you're doing it correctly. So we're gonna just hold here for 10 deep breaths. Notice when you don't force it, your legs will tell you that they can handle a little bit more. So with every inhale and exhale, maybe your legs tell you they can pull a little bit harder on to that band. But during these stretches, we don't force anything. We don't pulse. We just hold where we feel a little edge and just stay in that discomfort. 3 more deep breaths. 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale in. And then exhale, you're gonna slowly release just your left foot out of the band, keeping your right foot in. Now you can either plant the sole of your left foot on the ground or you can release it all the way down. Now, just your right hand is in your band. You're gonna take your left arm out beside you and then slowly opening your right leg out to the side. So you can bring your elbow down and you're just holding your leg out to the right, opening up through your groin, your hip flexor. And then dorsiflex your toes towards your nose. And remember, without forcing anything, so going to your edge, so like 70% of what you can deal with. And then with every breath, maybe getting a little bit deeper into it. It's just like in life, when we force things that aren't meant to be there, that's when chaos starts to happen. That's how injuries happen. That's when progress doesn't happen. So right here, take 3 more breaths. 2 more breaths. And then 1 more inhaling. And then exhale, slowly lift your leg all the way up. Now you're gonna switch your hands. So now your left hand's gonna be in your band. And you're gonna slowly take your leg all the way to the left side of your body. Your right arm out to the side. And then dorsiflexing your toes towards your nose. Yeah, you'll feel your calf and IT band start to light up. To get more into your lumbar spine, if you'd rather just have a spinal twist, you can just release your leg down. But as you saw earlier, your IT bands need a lot of love, so feel free to give them some. And now start to gaze over at your right hand, so trying to anchor your right shoulder into your mat. 2 deep breaths. 1 more inhale in. And then exhale, slowly, slowly, slowly rise your right leg up. And then release the band from your right leg. Maybe shake out your legs. Yeah, windshield wipers. Sorry about that, y'all. And then we're gonna switch out our legs. So if you wanna sit back up again, you can. But you're taking the left sole of your foot into that band, and then slowly rolling all the way down to your back. And you're just keeping the left foot on the band. Yeah, you can either place your right sole of your foot on the ground or lay it all the way out. Just your left hand is on the band. I'm gonna take this off, y'all. So now I want you to start to send your left foot over to the left side of your mat. Yeah, so opening up through your groin. Yeah, and I want you to extend your right arm out to the side. And remember, going to your edge, not somebody else's. All our bodies are different. Take 3 more deep breaths. Two more breaths. Then one more inhale. And then exhale it out. Now slowly start to lift your foot back up towards the ceiling. And then switch your band out to your opposite hand, bringing your left leg across your body. And then send that left arm out to the side. Remember dorsiflexing your toes towards your nose. Feeling that IT band and calf light up. All right, here, start to think about this intention, this energy that you're putting in from just slowing down, from just doing something that's good for your body, that will help you recover, that will help you also get a larger range of motion on these other modalities that we do in everyday life, these other workouts, if it's here, if it's running. Just doing something to slow down to be able to succeed in those other things. How can you put more intention in your just everyday life, getting off autopilot and start using that energy for purpose? Take one more deep inhale in. And then exhale, slowly lift your left leg all the way back up towards the sky. And then you're gonna release that band. You can throw it off to the side. We are done with those bands for today. Now laying on your back, you're gonna bring your knees into your chest and then grab the outer edges of your feet and just start to rock side to side, massaging out your low back. It's called Happy Baby if you know yoga. If you don't, no worries. Now, still continue to dorsiflex your toes to your nose and then try to send your knees into your armpits. Now lift your tailbone off your mat and then anchor your low back so much, leaving your head all the way on the ground. Yeah, and then start to rock side to side. Give that low back, that QL, little massage. If you still need to get a little more hamstring stretch, feel free. Start to straighten one leg and the other. And then inhale as you hug your right knee in towards your right armpit, but send your left leg all the way out in front of you. So hug your right knee in towards your armpit, feeling your hip flexor just light up a little bit. Just hold here for 2 breaths. One more inhaling. And then exhale, slowly start to guide your right knee over your left for a supine twist. Extend your right arm out beside you. And then sink your shoulders into your mat and gaze over at your right hand. And drop your leg all the way down if you can. We're just rinsing out that tension, almost like a little rag of that lumbar spine, anything that's holding back in there. Take one deep inhale in. And then stay on your exhale as you release any more tension left in there. Now slowly start to lay back onto your back and then switch out your legs. So hug your opposite knee in towards your left armpit. So rather than your chest, try to go towards your armpit to allow those hip flexors to release. And then take 2 deep breaths, just hugging your knee in towards your armpit, keeping your head all the way down. One more inhale. And then exhale, guide your left knee over your right, supine twist. And then extend your left arm out beside you. Just anchoring your left shoulder into your mat. Gazing over your left hand. With every inhale, lengthen through your spine. And with every exhale, releasing it out. One more inhale. And then one more exhale out. Now slowly start to lay back onto your back, and then right here, hug your knees into your chest and your forehead up to your knees. Give yourself a big hug. And show yourself some gratitude for showing up, for doing something uncomfortable, sitting in the discomfort, and allowing your body to release just anything that's not serving you. Take one more deep inhale in. Then exhale, just lay on your mat, rebound pose. Just releasing any tension. Spread your legs out wide, your arms out wide. Release your palms towards the ceiling if you need to let go of anything. You can put your palms on your mat if you need to feel a little bit more grounded right now. Taking a few moments to just come back to your breath, just release. To remove your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Let all that tension melt into your mat. Now slowly start to bring movement back into your body, starting with your breath. Take one deep inhale in through your nose. And then exhale, release that breath out. And start to wiggle your fingers, your toes. Point your toes towards the front of your space. Stretch your arms overhead for a full body stretch. Your second little wake up of the day, feeling a whole lot different than your first. And then roll onto your right side in fetal pose. So bring your knees into your chest and just use your right bicep as a little pillow. Pause right here. So we end our stretch laying on our backs in our rebound pose, which represents the death of our practice. And then roll into fetal pose to represent rebirth, new beginnings, a chance to recognize